I shot my uncle point blank in the knee that night, not because I wanted him dead, but because the truth he'd buried for 20 years demanded a limp he'd carry forever, like the one Grandpa faked to cover for his sins. The family Bible we'd all sworn on at Thanksgiving dinners? It was laced with lies. And the blood on its pages was mine, metaphorically speaking, since I'd taken the fall for Uncle Ray's embezzlement scam back when I was just a scared kid fresh out of high school. As he crumpled on the polished oak floor of that hidden Catskills estate, howling like the coward he was, I whispered, "This ain't the end,
Ray."
It's the encore you should have seen coming." It started with the '98 Ford F-150, Grandpa's rust bucket beast that he'd babied like a firstborn son. The old man passed in his sleep last spring. Hart gave out mid-sip of black coffee at the diner in Saratoga Springs, the one with the faded "Go Yankees" sign peeling off the window. He was 82, sharp as a tack till the end, but he'd never spilled a bean about that truck secrets.
Me?
Leah Harlan, 28, scraping by as a paralegal in Albany, drowning in student loans and a dead-end affair with a guy who thought commitment was a four-letter word. Grandpa was the only family that stuck. Mom bailed when I was 5. Dad was a ghost who sent Christmas cards from Reno with 20s folded inside like guilty bribes. Uncle Ray? He was the golden boy, the one who swooped in after Grandpa's stroke 5 years back, handling the finances with that shark smile of his. The will reading was a joke. Ray showed up in a Brooks Brothers suit, reeking of Old Spice and entitlement, flanked by his trophy wife, Kendra, who scrolled TikTok the whole time like estate law was beneath her Pilates-toned ass. The lawyer, some dried-up prune named Mr. Whitaker, droned on about the modest savings account, the double-wide trailer in Ballston Spa, and then the truck. To Leah Harlan, my granddaughter, I leave my 1998 Ford F-150, registration and keys included. No strings. Ray snorted, muttering about sentimental hooey, but I felt a spark. Grandpa had winked at me once, years ago, patting the dash like it held state secrets. "This old girl's got stories.
Kiddo.
Drive her right, and she'll drive you home." I towed it to my cramped apartment off Lark Street, the kind of place where the radiator clanks like it's auditioning for a horror flick and the neighbors blast country anthems at 2 a.m. First order, a tune-up. But when I fired it up, the GPS, Grandpa had slapped in an aftermarket unit back in '05, the kind with a flip-up screen that looked like it belonged in a DeLorean, blipped to life. Not the usual TomTom crap. This was custom. Coordinates locked in, a single waypoint pulsing, 42.987 degrees north.
74,512 symbol stopnia W.
Upstate, deep in the Catskills, off Route 28. No address, just a pin drop labeled Sanctuary. My gut twisted. Grandpa hated the woods, called God's green joke on city folk. Why stash a spot there? Curiosity's a bitch, especially when rent's due. I punched the cords into my phone that weekend. A solo road trip with a thermos of Dunkin' and Springsteen blasting Born to Run, to drown out the what-ifs. The drive wound through leaf-peppered hills, past farm stands hawking cider and pumpkins. The air crisp with that October bite that screams New York fall. 2 hours in, the signal dropped, and my Civic's tires crunched onto a forgotten dirt lane marked by a rusted, "No trespassing" sign half swallowed by ivy. The estate loomed like something out of a Ken Burns doc, a sprawling queen and mansion, turrets clawing at the slate sky, windows boarded like blind eyes. Overgrown lawns choked with thistle, a sagging porch swing creaking in the wind. This wasn't Grandpa's style, He was a 4 fluorescence guy. Not some Downton Abbey reject. I killed the engine. Heart hammering like I'd chugged 3 Red Bulls. The front door, massive oak. Brass knockers shaped like a snarling wolf, hung ajar, as if expecting me.
Inside.
Dust motes danced in shafts of gray light, the air thick with mildew and regret. Foyer chandelier crashed to the floor years ago. Shards swept into a corner like forgotten confetti. I wandered. Flashlight app on my phone cutting through the gloom. Past parlors with sheet-draped furniture and a library stacked with moldy law tomes. Upstairs, in what must have been a study, I found it a wall safe. Combo etched faintly on the door jamb. Grandpa's birthday. April 17th, 42. Inside, not gold bars or Faberge eggs, but a leather-bound ledger, yellowed photos, and a thumb drive etched for Leah when you're ready. The ledger hit first. Pages of meticulous script. Grandpa's no-nonsense cursive. Dates. Figures. Names. Harlan Timber Company. The family outfit Dad had tanked in the 90s with bad loans and worse decisions. But here, entries from '03, when I was 16. Siphons $250K from escrow. Forged Leah's sig on docs, girls clean. Takes heat. My signature? On what? Flashes hit me. That summer. Ray dragging me to the office in Glens Falls. Sign here.
Kiddo.
Just routine auntie's inheritance stuff. I doodled hearts in the margins. Oblivious. While he pocketed the cash for his side ventures, Ponzi schemes dressed up as real estate flips. Grandpa discovered it, covered the shortfall with his pension, then framed the accident, a warehouse fire that wiped the books clean. But the real blaze? Ray's greed. And the scapegoat?
Me.
Cops questioned me for weeks. Juvenile embezzlement, splashed across the Albany Times-Union like I was Bonnie without Clyde. Charges dropped, Grandpa's pull with the DA, but the stain stuck. Colleges ghosted my apps. Jobs laughed me out. I'd carried that albatross, blaming my dumbass self, while Ray climbed to VP at a Syracuse bank, toasting family first at every reunion. Photos next. Grandpa and Ray. Young bucks in flannel. Felling pines near Lake George. Then later ones, Ray with a brunette, not Kendra. Duffel bags in a motel lot. The drive? Plugged into the truck's ancient port. It spat files, audio clips. Grainy vids. Grandpa's voice. Gravelly from Pall Malls. Ray, you touch her future. I'd bury you deeper than these roots. Ray's reply. Oily smooth. Pops. It's business. Leah's a pawn. Pawns don't cry foul. A vid from '05. Ray meeting a fixer in a Schenectady dive. Handing off cash for quiet deeds on this very estate, bought under a shell corp.
Titled to LH.
Trust, my initials. Grandpa's bolt hole. Funded by the very scam he'd hushed for blood's sake. Rage boiled slow, like bad moonshine. I wasn't crying, I was calculating. Ray had flipped the script a dozen times, charming uncle at barbecues, then ghosting when the checks bounced. This estate, his safety net, deeded away after the scam to dodge audits. But Grandpa clawed it back, quiet-like. A revenge seed planted decades deep. I spent the night there, fog rolling in like a bad omen, poring over docks by lantern light. By dawn, plan crystallized, not quartz, too clean for his dirt.
No.
This was personal. American as apple pie a la mode with arsenic. Back in Albany. I play it cool. Called Ray. Voice sugar sweet. Uncle. Found something wild in the truck. Grandpa's got a cabin upstate. Want to see?
He bit. Hard.
Cabin? Hell. Lead the way.
Kiddo.
Been too long. Kendra begged off. Yoga retreat, but I caught her side eye, like she smelled the trap. We met at the diner. Ray in chinos and loafers. Me in jeans and a hoodie hiding the .38 I'd bought off a sketchy contact in Troy. Legal? Hell no. But after what he'd cost me, therapy bills, trust issues, a life derailed, fares fair in love and vendettas. The drive up was all small talk. Ray spinning yarns about the good old days, probing casual. Truck running smooth? Any. Surprises? I smiled, gripping the wheel till knuckles whitened. Oh,
Plenty.
GPS took me places I never dreamed. He chuckled, but sweat beaded on his brow. Classic tell. The one Grandpa warned me about during poker nights. Ray bluffs like a pro, but his pores don't lie. We pulled up at dusk. The mansion silhouette a jagged tooth against the bruised sky. Ray's face drained, recognition hit like a sucker punch. What the fuck is this?
Leah?
Pops said he sold this dump years ago. I let him in. Flashlight beam slicing shadows.
To the study.
Flipped on the safe light. Ledger open like a gutted fish. Read it, Uncle. Your greatest hits. He scanned, color fleeing faster than rats from a sinker.
This
is bullshit. Forged? I protected you. That fire, Christ. I took the insurance heat. Lies. Slick as ever. Audio queued up, his own voice.
Damning.
He lunged for the drive. But I sidestepped, drawing the .38, cold steel in my palm. Steady from range time I'd logged post-divorce. Sit, I said, voice flat as the Hudson Valley.
He did.
Crumbling into the desk chair. That schemer's mass cracking. Leah. Honey. Let's talk. What's this worth? Half the estate? I got connections. Connections that framed a kid for your greed? I paced. The floorboards groaning like Grandpa's ghost. Twist one, he flipped.
Tears welling.
It was for the family. Dad was sinking the company. Alzheimer's creeping. Bad calls. I fixed it.
Bull.
Grandpa was sharp. Ray was the leak. But doubt wormed in. Had the old man shielded him too? Once, buried his own screw-ups to keep the Harlan name shiny? We talked, or monologued, till midnight. Ray wove a tapestry, Dad's gambling debts in '95. The ones that sparked the whole mess. Grandpa covered. But Ray helped by cooking books, pulling me in blind as the fall guy to throw off feds sniffing timber fraud. You were disposable.
Kid.
Tough love. Controversial? Understatement. Part of me saw the spiderweb family rot. Generational curses. But the girl who'd lost scholarships, who'd lied on resumes about that misunderstanding? She wanted blood. Or close. Climax brewed as thunder rumbled, rain lashing like judgment. Ray bolted for the door. Coward's gambit, slipping on shattered chandelier glass. I fired, low and deliberate, the crack echoing like thunder's bastard child. Me shattered. Not fatal, but he'd walk with a cane. A daily reminder. He screamed, clutching the ruin, eyes wild. You bitch. This is murder. No.
Ray.
This was equity. But here's the split, as sirens wailed distant. Neighbors spotting the truck. No doubt I knelt, gun smoking. Call it even? He spat blood-flecked foam. Even? You think this fixes you? Dad knew about the estate. The cover. He let you rot to teach resilience.
Lie?
Truth? Grandpa's silence suddenly loomed. A third betrayal. Had he played me too? Forging my path through fire? Cops hauled us both, me for the shot, him for the ledger's mountain of mail fraud. Kendra lawyered up, spilling to the press. Family implosion. Leah's always been unstable. Twitter lit up. Harlan heist. Camps forming. Girls of Vigilante Queen versus unhinged snowflake ruining lives.
Me?
In a holding cell smelling of bleach and despair, I stared at the cinder block, wondering if revenge was the hook or the sinker. Turns out, the twist wasn't Ray's bleeding or Grandpa's ghosted complicity. It was the estate itself. A Pandora's garage of Harlan horrors that made my kneecapping look like a playground scuffle. Bail hearing came quick. Judge Harlan, no relation. Thank Christ, a no-nonsense broad from Poughkeepsie who eyed my rap sheet, that juvie ghost, and set it at $50K. Ray's crew ponied up for him faster than you can say white-collar privilege. But me? Crowdfunded by strangers who devoured the viral dashcam of his perp walk, whimpering on a stretcher. Justice for Leah, they hashtag, turning my vendetta into a meme war. I walked free on a rainy Tuesday, ankle monitor buzzing like a pissed-off hornet, straight back to the mansion. Cops sealed it as a crime scene, but a sympathetic trooper, ex-army, hated bankers, slipped me a key. Finish what your granddad started. Harlan. The place felt different now. Less tomb. More confessional. I cracked the last unopened box from the safe. Letters. Brittle as autumn leaves. One from Mom. Postmarked 04. Reno return. Leah Bug. If you're reading this, Ray's poison spread. I ran 'cause I saw it coming. Your grandpa covered for him once.
2.
Back when Dad OD'd on bad debts. Don't trust the roots. OD'd? Dad wasn't a gambler, he was a user. Pills chased with Jack to numb the timber bust. Grandpa's accident story? A mercy rewrite. Betrayal layered like sedimentary rock. Grandpa shouldered Dad's shame. Then Ray's greed, dumping the dregs on me. Was I the patsy? Or the avenger breaking the cycle?
Ray?
Meanwhile, lawyered like a demon. From his hospital bed in Albany Med, he spun to the DA, self-defense. Girl went psycho, waving that ledger like a gun. Kendra amplified on Fox News Upstate. Teary-eyed, she's always resented us. This estate? Stolen from Ray's trust. Stolen? The Shell Corp docs proved otherwise. Grandpa's quiet repurchase in '07. Using black market timber sales to fund it. Controversial as hell. Was Ray the villain? Or a survivor in a family of enablers? Social media split wider. Blue-check liberals crowed, "Eat the rich, nephew," while MAGA uncles thundered Second Amendment for her. But lock her up? I scrolled it all from the mansion's creaky Wi-Fi. A bottle of Knob Creek burning my throat. Plotting phase 2. Revenge ain't a sprint. It's a marathon with pit stops at moral gray zones. I hired a PI, ex-NYPD named Frankie, who chain-smoked camels and called Ray that weasel in wingtips. 4-5K, scraped from GoFundMe tips, he dug. Ray's current gig at Adirondack Savings. Laundering crypto for upstate cartels. Kendra and on it with charity fronts. But the kicker? Emails from 10. Ray to Grandpa. Pops. Estate's mine by right. Dad's debts die with you. Or I spill about the fire. Not insurance, arson. Your match. Grandpa torched the warehouse himself to bury evidence of Ray's first skim. Yes, but also Dad's stash of falsified logs. The kind that could have landed Harlan's in federal pen for environmental fraud. Grandpa. The patriarch puppet master burned his legacy to save his sons, then me as collateral. That night, storm raging like the '08 nor'easter that flooded Route 9. I drove the F-150 to Ray's McMansion in Guilderland, sprawling colonial. Flagpole flying Old Glory upside down in protest. Ankle monitor? Hacked it with Frankie's gadget. A Faraday pouch killing the signal for an hour. I parked in the tree-lane, .38 tucked in my waistband, heart a jackhammer. Not to kill, Lord.
No.
That'd make me him, but to shatter the facade. Slipped through the backyard, past the infinity pool glowing turquoise, to the French doors. Inside, Kendra on the couch, scrolling Zillow for escapes. Oblivious. Ray, hobbling on crutches in the den, scotch in hand, Fox blaring Hannity rants. I stepped in, shadow silent. Miss me, Uncle? He froze, glass shattering on the Berber. Kendra shrieked. Fumbling for her phone, I snatched it, smashed under my boot. Number 911 tonight. We're family. Ray flipped again. That chameleon's gift. First denial. Leah. This assault. You'll rot. Then bargain. Estate's yours. Full title.
Just.
Sign an NDA. Then. The gut punch truth bomb. Your mom? She wasn't running for me. From him, Grandpa. He covered Dad's suicide. Called it OD to spare the shame. Pills were his. But the note blamed Ray's interference. I took the hit to keep peace. Suicide. The word landed like a felled pine. Dad's Christmas cards? Forgeries. Ray admitted. To keep me from digging. Grandpa's silence? A vow to the grave. I wavered. Gun heavy. The room spinning with ethanol fumes and half-truths. Controversial decision. I could have ended it. 2 pops. Center mass. A mercy for us all.
But no.
Instead, I forced the laptop open. Uploaded the drive's files to a dark web drop Frankie prepped. Leak it.
Ray.
Confess on your terms. Or the cartels get your address first. He laughed. Bitter. You think you're better? This blood's on you now. Dawn broke bloody. Me peeling out as sirens wailed again. Kendra's panic button.
Slick.
Files hit the net by noon. Harlan files trending. Ray's empire crumbling in real time. Bank fired him. Feds raided the McMansion. Kendra lawyering for divorce.
Me?
Holed up in the estate. Deeding it to a trust for at-risk kids. Ironic. Since I was the riskiest. But the twist lingered. A final letter from Grandpa. Tucked in the dash. Leah girl. If you found this, forgive the old man. Ray's poison. But so was I. The fire? For Dad's soul. The estate? Your birthright, sell it. Burn it. But live free. Love.
G.
Forgive? Hell. I torched the ledger that night. Flames licking the hearth like absolution. But freedom tasted like ash. Epilogue's a slippery slope. Does revenge crown you? Or just trade one chain for another? 6 months post-leak. The Harlans were tabloid toast. Ray plea bargained down to 15 years in Otisville. White-collar wing with cable TV and commissary regrets. Kendra fled to Florida with a realtor boyfriend, peddling true crime podcasts about my nightmare niece. The estate sold for $1.2 million to some Brooklyn tech bro flipping it into an Airbnb haunt. Irony's bitter cousin.
Me?
Pocketed enough to quit the paralegal grind. Enrolled in night law at Albany. Chasing DA dreams with a chip on my shoulder the size of the Adirondacks. Ankle monitor off.
But scars?
They itch on rainy days. The final twist dropped like a bad check. Courtesy of Whitaker, the will lawyer. Showed up at the diner one crisp November morn, nursing a Danish and a manila envelope. Miss Harlan, your grandfather amended the codicil last week before. Well, inside, not cash, but a deed. Wait, another property?
No.
The F-150's title, but annotated. And a note. Leah, the GPS led you home. But the real sanctuary's in letting go. Ray's last flip, he confessed to me, pre-stroke. Wanted absolution. I gave it, but not without cost. You forgive him? That's the revenge that sticks. Absolution? For the man who'd kneecapped my youth? I drove the truck one last time. Chords reset to nowhere. Windows down. Dylan crooning like a rolling stone as leaves vortexed in my wake. Pulled over at a pullout overlooking the Sacandaga Reservoir. Water black as regret. Tossed the .38 unregistered. Sunk forever. Ray wrote from prison. Smudged ink on lined paper. You got the limp now.
Kid.
But walk straight. Controversial to the core. Pity the devil. Or spit on his halo. Readers argue till doomsday. Was I hero? Hauling family skeletons into light? Or villain? Gunning down kin in the court of public opinion? Grandpa's estate cash-funded scholarships now. Harlan Resilience Fund for kids tagged with troubled files. I spoke at the first ceremony. Voice steady. They'll tell you one mistake defines you.
Bullshit.
It's what you do next. Crowd split, some cheered. Others whispered, vigilante. Fine by me. America's built on grudges. Boston Tea Party. Moonshine runners. Civil rights marches. My grudge? Just another thread in the quilt. Last hook, that night. Post-speech. Phone buzzed, an unknown Reno number. Mom's voice.
Tentative. Leah?
Saw the news. Coming east. We talk. Betrayal's echo. Or redemption's whisper. I hung up, staring at the truck's dash. GPS dark. Sanctuary's not a pin drop. It's the miles you choose. And me? I'm driving.